It was another jam-packed episode for America's Got Talent season 20, and can you believe we're already at week 3 already? It's literally the premiere. The premiere was only 2 weeks ago, and we're already on week 3. But regardless, it was still a really great episode with a great amount of variety, and Mel B pressed her second Golden Buzzer of the season, and it was for sure a really strong Golden Buzzer, I'd say. I mean, both her Golden Buzzers I think are really good, but this was still overall really solid episode and some good variety acts as well we had this week. But anyways, we've got a lot to talk about in this week's recap and review of America's Got Talent season 20. So let's get straight into the video. So it was week 3 for the America's Got Talent season 20 auditions, and I can't believe we're already on week 3 already. It's absolutely bonkers. And honestly, and so far we have 4 golden buzzers, including the 2 from the premiere, 1 from last week, and now the 1 from this week, which are all very, very good. And it was a really solid episode as well. We had some good variety acts, and a few kind of novelty out there acts that I was kind of like, oh, okay. But honestly, it was still a really solid episode overall. I really enjoyed the performances we had, and yeah, I overall just really enjoyed the episode. So we're not going to do too much talking. We're just going to get straight into this week's review without going too much into detail for the first part of the video. Let's get straight into the video, shall we? So, kicking off the night, we had Julia and Dimitro Turkiv. I apologize if I pronounced that incorrectly, but they are an aerialist duo. They are a Ukrainian duo who are now based in Germany, and they performed. They've been on quite a few Got Talent shows actually. To be honest, yet. So they were on France Got Talent, and they made it to the final in 2021, and then they went on Romania's Got Talent and made the final there. Whereas they went on Slovakia's Got Talent and made the final, and they went on Spain's Got Talent as well, and they got the golden buzzer, and they ended up winning the whole thing. And they made the final on on Italia's Got Talent. So some pretty good records from them, which I haven't heard. I haven't really heard. I do after I watch each act. I do a bit of deep diving to see what they've done, and so. But anyways, let's get into the performance, because for the past few weeks they had kind of started with kind of like the novelty, like weaker act open the episode. But this week we opened it with a very, very strong act here. So they did a kind of aerialist routine to "You Are the Reason" by Callum Scott and Leona Lewis, the beautiful duet song, which is just fantastic. And they did it basically. It basically kind of incorporated a pool of water, and then there was rainfall kind of dropping from the ceiling, and to make the act even more dramatic. And it was just stunning. This was a stunning act. It was an amazing start to the show as well. I will read the comments now. Harry mentioned that they have seen many aerialist acts, but when they added the water, it was amazing and really dangerous. Mel mentioned it was brilliant, and Simon said it was genuinely breathtaking. And I could not agree more with the comments here, as this was an absolutely amazing performance for them. And honestly, this is I have to go far as saying this is probably one of the best aerialist acts I think I've ever seen on Got Talent in such a long time. Like, I know we've seen so many like aerialist kind of like these type of acts you've had over the years, and they've always impressed me. But this in particular was just as mind blowing, especially because I think the water elements really added the routine into like a whole kind of like, I can't describe it. It was just amazing. It was just such a brilliant, brilliant first audition, and I would love to see how far these guys could go. As looking at their track record so far, they could definitely do well in the competition and be a potential finalist. Especially because with Sebastian and Sonia last year, they made it all the way to the finals, and I could honestly see that this may be the same for these guys. I think they've got huge promise, and yeah, I think these guys were just amazing, and I really am looking forward to what they do in once they get to the live shows. And I do think they are going to make it through, regardless. And it was literally the perfect way to open the show as well. It was just mesmerizing to say the least. Absolutely mesmerizing, especially and the chemistry they had between each other, like the intricacy as well was another level. It really was just top notch from start to finish. So a brilliant start to the show from the duo here, and I cannot wait to see what they bring next in the live shows. Hopefully they make it. And then we had Orchestra Philharmonic, who are a musical novelty act from Japan. I mean, with these type of acts, I'm not surprised they come from the beautiful country of Japan. And even Simon got involved towards the end, which I'll talk about a little bit later on. So there's not. I haven't really found much about them apart from they're from Japan. They're like a novelty kind of like musical group. So basically, they're basically had the musicians basically taking off their jackets and having basically standing with their basically shirtless, and the guy here, as you can see, basically kind of basically conductor, as you can say, played a bit of classical music on their bodies with a dry ice baton while they had their harmonicas in their mouth, and they basically when they touched it, they'd blow it, if that makes sense, and it was just chaotic to say the least. I mean, Simon absolutely loved it because he seems to absolutely love the novelty acts they have on these shows. But Melby wasn't a huge fan of it, and she did indeed buzz them. And I mean, I didn't know the classical music they did too. I assume it's just a piece of music I wasn't familiar with. I assume. But yeah, and also that ice, that's gotta hurt as well. That's gotta be quite. Oh, like that's gotta really feel quite something. Feel like something, to be honest. To have that on your chest, that's gotta. Goodness gracious. So but that was that. Literally, Sophia mentioned that they tricked her because they seemed very serious, and it was stupidity. I mean, especially with the Japanese novelty acts we get on the show, it's no surprise. Harry mentioned they checked so many boxes, and Simon said he went. Oh, by the way, he basically kind of went up there and kind of attempted it himself to basically have the thing, and he did it on each chest, which was quite comical to say the least. I mean, it's one of those acts I think are just really I can't explain because it's just complete and utter randomness to say the least, and just I don't know what else to say to this act. It was just bonkers to say the least. It's just, and normally these type of acts I'm not the biggest fan of because they're just completely utterly just random. Like I keep saying that, but it's just so outside the box to think about, and it's just that's that. But they went through. They got 4 yeses, and Mel B did eventually say yes to them. And we'll see them in the deliberations. I don't know if they're going to go any further, but we'll see. Anyways, let's get on to the next act, which was Mel B's golden buzzer, her second golden buzzer already, which was for Charity Lockhart, who is a 49-year-old singer. And apparently she's done Aretha Franklin tributes, I believe. I'm not too sure. But yeah, so basically, she created according to the fandom, she basically created a Aretha Franklin tribute, which gained the approval of not only of Detroit, but of the Franklin family too, which is pretty cool. And she's been headlined on the Celebrity Edge cruise, which was launched in 2021, just after the pandemic, and she's been in a range of TV shows, movies, commercials, sound recordings, which is very interesting. And so this was basically Mel B's golden buzzer, and a deserving golden buzzer, if I say so. So she performed Golden Slumbers, Carry That Weight, which is originally by the Beatles, but she did the Jennifer Hudson version of that song. Was that song in Dreamgirls? Let me know in the comments below. I'm not too sure if it was in Dreamgirls, but you let me know in the comments below. But she actually did perform her first song, which was Somewhere Over the Rainbow from The Wizard of Oz. But Simon did indeed kind of pause her as she was in the first portion. She kind of stopped her midway through it, and she asked if she had a second song, and she said she did, and she did the second song, and she absolutely just blew me away. Her voice, the emotion she displayed in the performance was just so magical. and and her voice, like, if I mean, I did not know she was an Aretha Franklin tribute artist until basically when I found out this information right now. But she was just incredible, and not only, like, I love the song choice she did, but for FYI, the second song choice, the Beatles. Hang on, back in a second, folks. Back in a second. All right, I'm back, folks. So, as I was saying about the song choice that Charity did, Golden Summers and Carried Away by the Beatles, originally the which is now the Jennifer Hudson rendition. I think what I liked most about it is not only it was a great song choice, but I think she really made it her own version. Kind of like it felt like I heard that I was hearing the song for the very first time ever. It was just that rendition suited her perfectly, and her voice is just out of this world. Definitely up there's one. I mean, so far the Golden Buzzers have been absolutely fantastic this year. We have 4 strong Golden Buzzers here, and I really am happy with the choices we have for them. I'm just going to shut my window quickly. It's a bit drafty in here. Give me a second. And there we go. Now we can get back to this week's review. As I was saying about Charity, she was just amazing. The soulfulness, the range she was hitting in her the notes, like the high notes she was hitting, was absolutely wonderful. So this was such a well-deserved golden buzzer from Mel B. She definitely made the right choice using her second golden buzzer, and I'm very happy for her. And I can't wait to see what she does in the quarterfinals, or whatever they're doing this year. Because I know last year they had all the quarterfinals come back. Got no idea if it's returning this year. I don't know if they're going to do the format again. But we're just going to wait and see what happens later down the line. But anyways, regardless, she was amazing and a well-deserved golden buzzer. And definitely one of the best. Definitely, I think for sure the best performance of the night. I think she was just amazing. And then now we go on to previously the best actor of the night. We go on to now the worst actor of the night, which was Spaceman Bob. And all I can describe is just chaotic beyond belief, if that's even all. I keep saying that because that's the only phrase I can think of to describe these type of acts. But it really was just not great. I mean, Simon was really enjoying it. So, because like I mentioned, Simon absolutely loves these type of randomness acts, who is so basically um, Spaceman Bob is a rapper and the lead singer of the band Playboy Man Baby. He's from Phoenix, Arizona, and basically he's basically a rapper basically. So he basically did a original rap song called The Weekend, and so about that, and basically Howie, Mel, and Sophia all buzzed him, but Simon gave him a standing ovation, and he really enjoyed it. And so let me go to the comments quickly. So because Simon mentioned, I don't know what it is, but it made him laugh, and then and then Howie said, basically. Basically, he mentioned this kind of being like a fun birthday party the mum would hire, and Sophia mentioned he was adorable and funny, and I really can't really say much about this act as it was just not that good. I will say it was a bit entertaining at the start, but once about to how do I describe it? If it's one of those random acts that's like bad, that it's good at the same time, it's really hard to describe. But it was still the worst performance of the night, regardless. But yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I can say to that. It was just not great. Anyway, let's move on to the next act, which was Urban Theory, who are a dance group from Italy, I believe. Yep, they're from Italy. And they were on. So basically, they are a dance group from Italy. And basically had all different members there, and it was kind of like they did a routine basically, which was overhead, which we'll get into a little bit later on. But they were on Italia's Got Talent, and they made it all the way to the final. I mean, they're from Italy, of course, and they were also, believe it or not, on Saturday Night Takeaway. They for the end basically because on Saturday Night Takeaway. For those who don't know that is in the UK, it's a show where Anton Deck hosts, and basically at the end of each episode, they'd have a guest perform for the ending of each episode. If that makes sense. So So basically, they basically part they basically took part in that, and they've also performed at the Dubai International Technology and Innovation Fair, which is pretty cool. And so yeah, those are some of the stuff they've done. So the audition basically did performed a hand-based routine where kind of like it was kind of like in the movements of a kaleidoscope, if that makes sense. It had four members in the center of a circle and several other members, kind of like about, I think it was about 18 something like members, kind of like doing synchronized dancing, and then they dimmed the lights and they did like a kind of routine with the LED lights like in the air, which was very cool. But actually, Simon and Sophia were impressed, but Mel and Howie were actually on the fence about this performance. But in the end, Sophia and Simon said yes immediately. Mel said no, and Howie did say yes. I think he did. He was saying, he was going to say no, but then the audience kind of encouraged him, and he did. He did indeed say yes in the beginning, which is awesome. I will be honest. I did. I think overall, I will say overall, it was a very creative routine and also quite refreshing to watch. Kind of like especially watching the synchronicity about what they were doing. The hand coordinations were very good, and the lights as well they added at the end was very very cool as well. So I'm really happy. I think they deserve to go through, but I will say, I I am a bit on the fence as well about this because it's not like it like the routine. I think how he mentioned itself. It kind of reminded me myself as well of Murmuration from 2023, who were absolutely spectacular what they were able to do. And while these guys were good, but it didn't like necessarily like just like it didn't blow my socks off like compared to like Team Recycle. They blew me away on the in the premiere. But I mean, and of course, we've got a few dance groups already in the competition. There are a few that I'm hoping to get aired that were shown in trailers and promos. So I'm hoping some of those acts get aired very very soon. I don't know when, no idea when, but I am hoping because there's one act in particular I think could do very well once they get aired. Because I'm planning to do my early picks and predictions after week 6, because apparently there's 9 audition episodes, so I'm going to plan doing that after episode 6 instead of episode 5. So, be on the lookout for that whenever that happens, which will be absolutely awesome. But regardless, I mean, I think again, I thought they deserved to go through. I think what they were doing were very good, and watching it on the project on the the POV, the position of view, it was very clever how they did that. But I don't see this act going any other further because it's not like Murmuration who were outstanding what they did. I mean, this was good, but that's about it. So yeah, I'm hoping they prove me wrong in the live shows, but we'll find out soon enough. But it was still good. I mean, it was still as I mentioned, it was still very good regardless. So yeah, but but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens later down the line. Next up, we had as of right now probably the most popular act for this week, which was Benjamin Hightower, who is a singer, a keyboard player. He's from Tennessee, and was actually in the group In the Stairwell from season 12, and they made it to the semi-finals. So it looks like he came back for basically by himself, which is pretty cool. And he also has served in the Royal Air Force. So we got to give shout out to Benjamin for your service, amazing. And he basically he also wants to pursue his passion for music ever since his departure and active service in the military. He's actually going to release both music and covers across each and every single one of his social media platforms, which is very good. And he performed Chaperone's Pink Pony Club, which I've heard that song briefly. I mean, I've heard it a few times, but not as many because I don't really know Chaperone, to be honest with you. But but let me tell you this guy's voice was brilliant. I think I mean, even though I didn't know the song, I thought he really executed the song very well. Sophia mentioned that she loved it. It was the perfect audition, and Mel said that the whole look and energy was fire, and Simon said that he really likes him and his whole story is interesting and he has a great heart. And I totally agree as well with what the judges were saying here, because while I don't know the song choice, there is no denying he has got an absolutely excellent singing voice, and he is just really a really talented singer as well, and just and again the range he was hitting as well was amazing for me. Him and Charity Lockhart were easily the two best acts of the night. I know I don't. I try not to add two singers in the top two each week, but they were absolutely amazing. And I thought they were fantastic. I thought he was fantastic, and the crowd absolutely loving him. I think even one of the audience members said that 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 he met that Simon that one of the audience members said that they may have found a star, and to be honest, yeah, I could definitely see that happening. And just again, you can tell the audience was loving him, and he's got this presence about him, which is honestly really, really kind of like a glow about. He's got this glow about him, which is really, just really something. So this was a fantastic performance, and I think there's quite a few acts I could see being potential like underdogs this year, like dark horses, and he is one of them. He's another act I could definitely see being a potential semi-finalist. I'd say I could definitely see him make it quite far, especially with his. I could definitely see him making it decently far in the competition. I can't wait to see what he does next, and I hope he does well. Then we had probably the most interesting act of the evening, which was Boston Dynamics, who are a robots act. They're an engineering robot design company founded by Mark in 1992, and well, they had one of the members come out. But I've actually seen, I think AGT auditions posted on the Instagram. There's actually more members to this, so that's pretty interesting. And so there's basically just a bunch of members, which is pretty. And this was actually a very impressive act as well. So they did the robots did a dance routine to Queen's "Don't Stop Me Now." And also during the performance, one of the robots actually switched off. It actually ran out of battery, which was quite funny, to be honest, to see that happen. But the rest carried on. And honestly, this was a very, very unique act, to say the least. I thought what the concept of act that they were doing was very clever, especially with technology. Like technology, I think it's so clever, especially on Got Talent, because there's like certain acts you think to yourself, how on earth could this work with technology? Like, no, this was just so entertaining to watch, and it put a smile to my face. It was very, very interesting to watch. Basically, Sophia mentioned it was exciting, and Mel said that it was mind blowing. And I do agree. It was definitely a very unique act to the show, and it's very different. But I really did enjoy this performance. It's definitely a very interesting act to watch. Like, never in a million years would I have expected to see a bunch of robots doing a dance routine to Queen. And it, again, the concept of this whole routine is very clever. So yeah, massive props to the people who did this, as it really was a very clever, exciting act. So I really did enjoy this one, and I don't know if this will make the live shows. I don't know if it will, just because I feel this is like a one-trick pony act, and I don't know where this could elevate, if that makes sense. So, but we'll find out again soon. But I don't think I have much confidence. This will make the live shows, to be honest. And next up, we had Cyril Takamayama, who is a magician from Hollywood, California, and has a Japanese decency descendant or like heritage, basically. So he's done quite a few. I've seen some of his magic, and he's pretty good. In 1991, he began entrusting it was actually a member of the short-lived television series Them in 2005. Since 2005, he's gone viral on YouTube. He's done other stuff. He's basically been all over the shop, basically doing magic, and it's very impressive. So basically, his routine basically included a close-up magic routine with Howie being on the stage, helping using cards with chopsticks. And the first act, part of the act, I thought was very, very cool as well. It was very impressive, especially when he threw the cards up in the air and he got Howie's card. That was really impressive. But with the second half, Simon and Mel B actually buzzed the act because I believe because it felt like it dragged on a little bit. Which, to be honest with you, I can understand. I could definitely feel like it was being dragged on quite a bit, but I do think getting buzzers was a bit harsh. I feel like maybe one okay, but I think two was definitely too much in my opinion. Um, but I I will say like let me get to the comments quickly. So yes, I mentioned here that when it goes on too long, he loses interest. You know, she and Mel even said, she was bored, but later she did mention that she had a daughter in the audience, and she said yes on her behalf, basically, which is awesome. But Sophia and Harry really enjoyed it. Sophia really thought the magic was spectacular, and Howie said that he has great potential. And you mean I could definitely see him having some potential to do well. Like I will say, I do feel like the second half was a bit of a drag, kind of dragged on quite a bit. If it just ended with the first routine, that would have been fine. I would have been like, yeah, okay, that's good. He's very good. But again, I feel like this kind of dragged on quite a bit, in my opinion. But I mean, it was still like, it's definitely a different style of magic I haven't seen before on AGT. So I got to give him props for that. But also, yeah, I really did enjoy the act as well. It was a very good audition as well, but I just feel like the ending the second half was a bit too much in my opinion. But again, I mean, I would like to see him make it to the live shows, but again, I think with two buzzers, I'm not too sure if he actually will. But I would love to see him what he can do next. I think he's got more up his sleeve, to be honest with you. Then we had the next act, which was Maceo Harrison. I apologize if I said that incorrect. I'm normally terrible at pronouncing saying names, but he is a dancer who's from Maryland, and he basically pursued hip hop dance when he moved to Georgia, and by the age of 15, he began attending lessons and battles, and he's done basically a lot of dance routines. He's done jazz, ballet, studio, and he actually went and after his graduation, he actually went on the third round of auditions for So You Think You Can Dance, which is Kat Deely, who hosts that show. I haven't really watched it, but however, suppose he actually never proceeded to the stage where he could have competed on the show as a whole himself. Um, He's also a basketball coach as well, which is pretty cool. So that's really cool. So he did a hip hop routine to Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus, and it was a very impressive performance, actually, I have to say. And he also really used the theatre and the auditorium basically around. It really kind of made this dance audition better as well. It's really good. Sophia mentioned that no, Sophia. Mel mentioned that she could see she was very authentically himself, and she respected that, and she wanted more. And Simon mentioned that he left us wanting more, and he's got this like I firstly, I just want to say I love his personality. I think he's got a great personality, and the whole routine was actually really exciting because, again, I think he's a great dancer. But the way he actually used the room, he used the auditorium and the audience throughout the routine, I thought was great. And it's definitely a different type of dance that I don't think we've seen on the show. I've not seen a dance routine like this on AGT in a good while. I don't think we've seen it ever on AGT, which is interesting, but it was still a really good audition. I really did enjoy the performance, and I would love to see what he could do. And yeah, I would love to see him make it further in the competition, as I think he's very, very talented as well. So again, I'm very excited to see what he does next, and yeah, we'll go on from there. I can't wait because I think he could be. Yeah, I think he's got a good shot of making it decently far. Maybe the quarterfinals, I'd say at the minute, but it was still a very good performance regardless. I really did enjoy it. And then we had the last act of the night, which was the Leo High School Choir, who are a male choir from Chicago. And the choir were founded approximately a quarter of a century ago in the year 2000. And throughout its time, it's been conducted by LaDonna Hill, which mentions it's basically an all-male choir. But yeah, but anyway, so they performed the Sources Born for This, which I'd never heard before. Even Mel mentioned, was that an original song you did? And they were like, no, it's not an original song. And then Mel was like, oh wow, because I thought it sounded like an original song, which I must admit, I thought it was an original song as well. I didn't know who sung that song, so I just assumed it was one of their own songs, so yeah, it was. So let me get to the comments quickly now. So, the Leo High School, Mel mentioned it felt like your song, and they were singing it from the heart, which is definitely true. I definitely feel like it. It felt like that they had written that song in a way which was really really good. So I mentioned that he imagined it as a West End show, Broadway show. It was powerful, and Sophia mentioned it was like Men with a Mission, sensitivity. It was beautiful. All these comments I completely agree with the judges here, and just you could tell, not only they've got a great friendship as well, and I know there's people out there who may not be a fan of choirs. I really enjoyed the performance, as the harmonies these guys have are really really nice. They blended very well, and you could tell they were having the best time up there singing that song as a group. And I just feel like, you know again, choirs this year, I don't know how far a choir will make it this year, because I know, with BGT, we had the post office choir, who I knew for sure would make it to almost the end. But I really just enjoy this. I must admit, while this wasn't going to happen, I knew this wasn't going to happen at all. But I was kind of surprised Terry didn't get out and give them a golden buzzer, because I know he's given choirs a golden buzzer quite a few times. The first one was the Detroit Youth Choir, and the other one was Voices of Our City, back in 2019 and 2020. So I was a little bit surprised he actually pressed it. He didn't press it at the same time. I wasn't, because it was the last act, and I couldn't see anyone else getting the golden buzzer. But still, it was a really strong performance, and I really liked the harmonies they did. The song was great, even though I didn't know the song. They really made it their own, basically. Like, it felt like their song in a way, like Mel mentioned. But yeah, it was a really brilliant audition, a great way to end off the episode, and I really did enjoy it, and I can't wait to see what songs they have in mind. And I could definitely see them being another dark horse this year to go decently far. And I know America loves the choirs; they love singing a choir on the show. We didn't have many choirs actually last year for AGT. I think there was only one, which was the Jerusalem Youth Choir, and that was all there was, if I remember correctly. But still, I really did enjoy the performance, and yeah, that's all I can say. I absolutely loved it. So that is this week's recap and review of America's Got Talent Season 20. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you thought about week 3, about the golden buzzer. Do you think it was the right choice? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And next week, it's week 4, which I'm also excited about. There were actually quite a few acts I actually know who will be on, who I can't wait to see. One of them was actually teasing the trailer or in the promos, which I'm very intrigued about. So yeah, I'm already loving this season already. It's really good. Some great golden buzzer choices. Quite a few acts I could definitely see making it decently far in the competition, and we'll just go and see what happens from there. But I really enjoyed this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe with notifications on. I would really appreciate that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video. And of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.